Hi there, welcome to Darlene's Creative Studio. Today is day 4 in our December daily challenge, and day 4's prompt is lights are brightly shining. Now sometimes I look at these prompts and I have a big question mark because I'm not quite sure what I want to do for that prompt. So the night before I always kind of grab the prompt and then I start to go through some of my supplies and pull things out that I think to me how I can represent lights are brightly shining. So what I started to do, I went through all my cards. I always go through my cards first because they're an easy, quick prompt for me. And this was a card that someone, I think I got this from the craft room. And it was a simple card and it flipped up. So it had like a little strip on the back and then there was just a little saying inside. So all I did was rip the back off and then I cut this one into 2 pieces. And I think I'm going to use these 2 pieces on either sides of the page. So the lights brightly shining are the lights in the houses. So that was one thing. And then I was trying to decide what to do about the background because they're both very plain. I wanted to come up with something that I could use for the background pictures. So that's where I kind of started there. And then I found this card. And I think I showed this in one of my other videos. I really love this card. I love something about it, the softness of it. But on the inside, it just has some light blue sky with some snowflakes. And there's 2 little cardinals here in a tree. And I was going to use this in my Christmas tree layout. So what I did was, because this is pretty thick, this is another card, and I didn't want to make the layers too thick in this, I thought I'd stick this in my printer and print it out. So I did that, I printed it out in color, and then I didn't realize that it was going to print it out on a full sheet of 8.5 by 11. So it came out really large, which worked out really well for me because, so now it's on thin paper. And all I did was cut it down to fit the size. See, it was quite large, so I had quite a bit around it. I cut it down to fit inside the page. So now I don't have that thickness of 2 cards on my pages. So I'm going to put this one down first, and then I'm going to put this little house right here in the corner, like this. And I thought that was kind of pretty. It has a little tree in there, so there's some Christmas lights, the lights in the houses. And I'm probably going to put my little lights are brightly shining kind of across there. And then I have this on this side. And then I thought, how can I get some Christmas lights in there? So I took a scrap piece of paper and my oval 2-inch punch. And I punched a hole, or I punched an oval. Let me just punch the oval here. Oops. That's not very good, Darlene. Let's see if we can get it at least oval. Okay. So then I took this oval and I thought, how can I make this into a Christmas light? You know, the little light bulbs? So this is the one that I cut. So I just kind of drew, I just went like this and drew, actually I think I used my tab punch. That's what I did. I just kept playing with it, but what I started with is I took my tab punch and I stuck it in my tab punch and I thought, I wonder if I can make like a little whoop in the bulb. So I did that. So then I got that funny little shape. So let's put it on the other side too. So then I ended up with something like this and I thought, okay, that's not quite exactly what I was looking for. See, it's fun to play with different things. And so then I ended up with a little shape like this. And then I thought, okay, all I have to do is just draw the shape of the light bulb and cut it out. And that's all I did. I cut it out like this on one side, like that. And then I took that piece and I put it on the other side of the light bulb. And I drew it with my pencil. And then I cut out on that side. And I ended up with, oops, that's not very good. Anyway, I ended up with basically the shape of a light bulb, and this was my master one. So then I just took that piece and I grabbed some old scrapbooking cardstock that I had up there, and I had all this lovely pink and green stuff, and all I did was lay this on the scrap that I had and traced out that little template. So what I have is all these little light bulbs. So then I took a little piece of green cardstock and just cut it into a 1/2 inch thick strip, and then I just cut little squares out and I added them to the back. So this is what I ended up with. So that's that side, but then I thought, oh, I'm going to put them on the white side. So I have all these little light bulbs. So there's my lights shining brightly. And I'm going to take some markers and I'm going to color each one of these little light bulbs, and then I'm going to have them hanging on my page like that. And then 3 on this side as well. So I'm going to color these up. And then I thought, oh, I need a strand. So I just took a piece of green cardstock and I literally just drew a little wavy line like that. And I cut that little wavy line out. Really quickly. Like that. And then I flipped it over and, no, I did it this way. I wanted it on my... Sorry, I went this way. And then I literally just cut out a little tiny 1/8, and I followed that same line, and that created my little wavy rope, if you will, like that. And then I just followed the same line again and cut out another one. So I ended up with some little wavy lines that I can put above like that. So they'll be attached to something. They're not just floating in the air. So I'm going to color these little light bulbs and I'm going to glue these down, and then I'm going to make this a pocket. I'm just going to glue around the edges of this and stick it on, and then I'm going to find a journaling card that I can pop in there, and then I can journal on that, because every page I want to journal something. I was going to leave a space on the page and so that I could journal, but when I found the tree and it printed so large and it kind of made a nice background, I decided to use that. So I will create a journaling card. So what I think I'm going to do is move all this stuff out of the way. Let's just get all this stuff that we're not using out of the way. And we'll move our little light bulbs. We'll do those last. And you can make the light bulbs a lot smaller, but I just thought they were kind of neat how big they turned out. So what I'm going to do first is glue on my page. And again, because I was using the Christmas cards as the decoration, I didn't want to have a really, really thick, bulky other card underneath it. Because I have 30 days to do, and I'm kind of hooked on using recycled cards and anything that gives me, you know, the prompt, that's something I see that makes the prompt mean something to me. So that's what I really like recycling the cards, and I do have about 30 or 40 cards here, so it's nice if you have a picture or even a picture of something, like if you have a picture of the front of your house with all your Christmas lights on and just print that out. That would be nice as well as part of your layout. So I'm just going to set this little guy in here. Slide it over. Oops. So that's my background. And I like I say, when I printed it and it came out on an 8.5 by 11, I thought that's not what I wanted to do. But when I set it down with my little house here, it just worked out perfectly that it looks like the trees in the background. And for this guy, I think I'm going to put this on first and then glue my little house on, just in case it covers up some of my the words where I'm going to place them. So I'm going to put this on next. So this is Lights Are Brightly Shining, and we're going to have it just kind of going across there like that. And then I'm going to glue this house down. I was going to leave it and make it like a little pocket or something, but I think this one I'm just going to glue down. And again, with the cards, because they're so thick, oops, and the art glitter glue takes a while to dry, I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac. Let's get that going. And I want to make sure I get right up to the tips of the house and everything, right to the edges, so that it will really grab the page. I taped, oh, I was going to show you my other page. I taped day What day am I on? 4. I taped day 3, and I had a lot of problems with my videotape, and I'm telling you, I'm hoping, I was hoping it would turn out properly, because when I downloaded it, the picture didn't show up and it just kept having little question marks, and it was not fun. So I'm hoping that it turned out properly when I uploaded it. I haven't had a chance to check it today. Okay, and then this guy is going to be a pocket. So I'm only going to do the sides of this one. So we're going to do right down the sides of this guy, across the bottom, and up to the top. And like I say, it's just going to be a little pocket. So we're just going to put him down on there like that. Make sure it's nice and the edges are pushed down well. And if you ever get glue oozing out, let it dry. And then I have an eraser that I use, a gum eraser, and it takes off any of the excess glue that's on your page, and it takes away the sheen of the glue too. So you don't have this big shiny spot where the glue oozed out. So that will be my little pocket. And then what I think I'm going to do is glue these little strips down next. And then I will color my light bulbs and add those. And I think I'm going to try Fabri-Tac. It might be a little gooey, but I really want these to stick well. So let's try it and see what happens. So one is going to, they're both the same wave, if you like, the same, like, oops, sticking to the paper. So I'm just adding a little bead of glue there. Let's see. And one is going to go down and one is going to go up. So let's put him here. So one will scoop down, and then the next one I'll have the scoop going up. Let's see if I can glue this without it sticking to me. Skip the center until I'm ready to glue it. And then if I glue my fingers, I won't worry about it there. Okay, so this one is going to go swooping up. And we'll try and keep them somewhat even. They don't have to be touching, but because you got to close your book, you don't want them to be in that crease, right? So there's my little cord for my lights. The lights are shining brightly, and there's my little pocket. And I'm just going to set this aside, and I'm going to grab my light bulbs. And I'm just going to lay them out. So I'm going to have 3 on one page and 3 on another. And I'm just going to grab some, I have these Tombow markers. And in this little, my husband ordered a hat and it came in this little kit. So I'm just going to move these over. And I'm going to pick some colors. I have a scrap piece of paper here somewhere. Here it is. That I was using for stamping on. So let's see what this red is like. Well, that's a pretty one. So let's color this one red. Now you can use paint if you want to make it go a little quicker. But I have tons of these Tombow markers and I want to use them up. So there we go. So there's my red light bulb. Just going to color around the tip a little bit more. There we go. So I have a red light bulb. Let's see, we have a yellow one. Let's see what that yellow's like. Oh, that's pretty. So we'll use yellow. There we go. And I still leave a little white spot to make it look like the shininess of the light bulb. So there's yellow. We could do a blue one. Yep. Let's do blue. There's my blue light bulb. Very pretty. So now we need a green one. Let's see if we can find a nice green. What about this one? Yeah, that's a nice color. It's going to match my little end piece to my light bulb there, but that's okay. So again, we're just going to leave a little strip of white there to make it look like it's shiny. You don't really have to push hard with these Tombow markers because they're very juicy. Okay, so we have a green one. And that one's pretty. What other color can we use? Those are more or less the primary colors. How about an orange one? Sure, why not? Orange is good. So now we've got an orange. I'm trying to remember, we used to have really, really colorful light bulbs when we were little. And I just loved how colorful they were. There we go. So we got an orange light bulb. And maybe a purple one? Can't think of what other color. Another blue one maybe. Maybe a teal blue to pull some of the teal out of that, the houses. Yeah, let's use that one. So I just go around the outside of on the left. Oops, it's painted my finger. Like that. Oops, one of my light bulbs just rolled away. And this is just, again, pieces of scrapbooking paper that I had in my scrap bin. I've got the other side of my table. I won't dare show it to you because it's a mess. But it has all of my scraps pulled out of my scrap bin, and I just kind of go through that each night. So there we go. So this is my light bulbs. Let's move that out of the way. So these are my light bulbs. So now we're going to glue the light bulbs on. And again, this is cardstock, so I am going to use the Fabri-Tac glue. Pull some of the glue off the end here. And let's start with the red one. And these were just, the scraps were only about, you know, 1.5 inches wide. So again, I didn't know what I was going to be using the scraps for because they were so tiny. So let's have this guy go this way. And I want to make sure that it's touching my little thing at the top there. Come on. And no, it won't come out. There it goes. I had some fun with this one, trying to figure out what the lights are brightly shining. That was a real toughie for me. All right, and let's put this blue one on. And we'll have him facing maybe out this way. Okay, now we'll do the green. And he can go, oops, it's going to cover up my shining a bit, so we'll make him just go up a little bit higher. And then our orange. And you could make all your lights the same color if that's what you like. There's that one, and then our blue one. Now, because when I created these journals, there's more than 30 double spreads in this. So what I decided to do was, every once in a while, if I come across something that, I came across a children's book page, two children's book pages that I cut out of a book. ripped out of a book that I was getting rid of. I saved some of the pages, but there was 2 in there that were really, really old pages. So what I did was on the back of my day 3, I had this little flap that had the part of the envelope on there. And I didn't know what I was going to do on that page. And again, I've got extra pages. So I thought I'm just going to glue the book page of the kids building a snowman. And then these kids were sliding down an icy hill. And I thought, why not make this a little tuck spot? So I glued my little ledger pages on the edges here and glued that flap down. And then I just cut out my Santa journaling card and I threw him in there. So I wanted to use these pages, and again, they didn't really have a theme. They might have something when I get through the prompts. I might find something and think, oh, rats, that would have done well. But I want to fill up some of the pages with some of the stuff like this, like maybe one of these really large pockets that I got from Bohemian Crafting. I might put that on a page and just have that as an extra little journaling spot. And I might put stuff like my Christmas card or my Christmas card list or something like that. Or if we just went out and did something and bought a whole bunch of gifts or something like that, I might just throw that in as an extra journaling spot because I have way more than 30 double spreads in this. So that was in between day 3 and day 4. So there's my day 4 layout, and I have to add my number. So let me find my number. And I think I'm just going to throw number 4 down here, or we could put number 4 on one of the lights. Why don't we do that? Let's put number 4 upon the red light. If it doesn't stick. Again, these are very, very staticky, so they kind of cling before you get them there. Oh, that looks cute. So there you go, number 4. Day 4, up in my corner. Lights are brightly shining. And then I'm just going to create a card. I have lots and lots of those Santa cards that I cut out, those vintage Santa pieces. I can find them all. I had this one that I created, and I just cut it out of the ones, and it has lights on in the window, so I thought that was kind of cute too. And then I had this tab left over from something else, so I just distressed the edges of this image that I cut out, and this is printed on ivory cardstock. If you wanted white, if you want it nice and bright like that, you could actually just print it out on white cardstock, but I like ivory. It kind of gives it a softer look. And then I just tea stained with my vintage photo, added my little tab, and I thought that would be nice to kind of throw in up there. And I might actually trim it down a bit. So let me trim a little bit off the bottom, just so it doesn't sit up and hide the lights all that much. So let's just distress that bottom again. There we go. And then that can go in there like that. That's a little better. Then it doesn't cover up too much of my light. So there's my lights are brightly shining. It was quick and easy. Well, now that I've done it, it's quick and easy, but just pulling one. As soon as I saw the houses, I thought I really want to use those because all the lights are on in the houses. And then I thought of the lights, and I was going to make these smaller. And then when I started cutting them out, I thought, hey, I got to fill up a lot of white space here. So we made the lights a little bigger. And then that background, that card that I copied, and it came out way too big. It just worked out perfectly. So it was a quick and easy spread, but again, recycling and reusing some of the scraps that I have. The tab was already cut out, and I just photocopied that picture. So there's day 4. So every prompt you have to interpret in your own way, whatever it means to you. They're not always going to mean the same thing to some people. You might want to, like I say, a nice picture of your house with all the lights on, or maybe some lights of your neighborhood, or if you go to a light festival, you could use that, or show pictures of that you went to the light festival and put a couple of pictures in there as well. So that's it for day 4. Tomorrow is naughty or nice. That one's going to be hard. It should be interesting to see what I come up with for that one. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the quick layout, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.